Good evening, everybody. I will call this special city council meeting to order of June 25th, and there is nobody here for the open forum, so I will ask everyone to please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next is the approval of the minutes of the Special City Council work session of June 10th, 2019, the Special City Council work session of June 11th, 2019, and the regular City Council meeting of June 11th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes have been approved. The next item is a proclamation declaring July 2019 as American with Disabilities Awareness Month in the city of Richfield. And I will ask Michelle Thompson to please join me here at the podium. Michelle is a member and representative of the Human Rights Commission. All right, I will read this now. Whereas the American with Disabilities Act was passed on July 26, 1990 to ensure the civil rights of citizens with disabilities, and whereas the city of Richfield affirms the principles of equality and inclusion for people with disabilities as embodied in the Americans with Disabilities Act and the laws of the state of Minnesota, including the Minnesota Human Rights Act, and whereas numerous organizations in Richfield throughout Minnesota work with constituents and communities to expand opportunities for Americans with disabilities by reducing barriers and changing perceptions. And whereas the Richfield Human Rights Commission supported this proclamation at its June 4th, 2019 meeting and recommended that the Richfield City Council do the same. Now, therefore, I, Maria Regan-Gonzalez, Mayor of the City of Richfield, on behalf of the Richfield City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2019 as Americans with Disabilities Awareness Month in the city of Richfield, and call on the people of Richfield to observe this month with appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies, and continue to support the civil rights of citizens with disabilities throughout the year. So thank you very much, Michelle, and maybe we can take a picture with Neil. Okay. Yes, Councilmember Garcia.
You know, this is a very important act, and as we, bring awareness to it, I also want to make sure that people understand that we have an organization called RDAP, and it was founded by Judy Moe, and she's done an excellent job in assisting, other entities, public entities, and giving advice to different groups and whatever. And, so I want to make sure that we highlight the fact that she's available and she's done a good job. Unfortunately, she's not compensated for the speeches she makes, but she's really been a real asset to our city.
Thank you, Councilmember Garcia. Councilmember Supple?
To add on to that, the RDAP group is meeting tomorrow at Augsburg Library from 5 to 7 if anyone is interested in attending.
Great, thank you. And I would just say we will find out soon if RDAP receives money to be compensated for their work. They recently applied for a grant focused on assessing accessibility across the community. And I'd also like to recognize and recognize our city staff for the work that they've been doing with RDAP in looking at accessibility and community development and parks and recreation and communications with our website and a number of different areas. And that's thanks to RDAP and Judy Moe, as well as to our city staff. And I know there's been a lot of other community organizations interested in moving that work forward. Great. We will move on to hats off for hometown hits, and I will start with Council Member Supple.
Thank you. First one that I would like to talk about, since we're not having a July 9th meeting, is that on July 13th, the Richfield Arts Commission and Crossroads Panorama are co-hosting a kickoff for the new sidewalk poetry that's going in along 66th Street. There was a contest and 20 poems were selected, and they're going to be sandblasted into the sidewalk. And we had done this previously on Portland Avenue, and it's going to be there'll be more poems next year as well. But it's July 13th at the band shell from 9 to 11 on Saturday. It's Saturday, July 13th. Second of all, in the mail just recently, we got the Richfield Water Quality Report, and so I just wanted to thank everybody that worked on this and to draw people's attention to it. There's a lot of really good information in there. The last item I have is I received a call from a Richfield resident, and she was telling me that fortunately they're doing better, but there had been some health issues in their family, and she wanted to really stress that if you kind of see that your neighbor's yard's kind of not up to snuff and doing the way that it usually is, and you kind of see things are going downhill, to check in and see what's going on, because they were so involved in, surviving that they didn't even reach out for help. And fortunately now they're doing better and they're able to spruce up their yard. But she said, just wanted to remind people not to make assumptions and to check in if you think your neighbors might need some help. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Supple. Councilmember Troutman.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple hats off. First and foremost, next week is Red, White, and Blue Days. This is always a huge deal for Richfield. This is where Richfield, I feel like we put our best foot forward in Red, White, and Blue Days. So special thanks to Heather Lenke and everybody, and Steve Schneerberger and everybody that's a part of that 4th of July committee, and for everybody who's volunteering, of which I know there are dozens and dozens of folks that are volunteering, but for everybody in the community, it's 3 days. We do it big in Richfield. We do it for days. It starts on June 2nd. It ends, July 2nd, ends on July 4th. But we have the car show. We have, I think it's Wreck-It Ralph Wrecks the Internet. Is that going to be in the band shell? Do we know that or where that's going to be? But we have movies. We have a movie in the park. Yes, it will be. And then we have the street dance, and it's 3 days of fun. It's 3 days of being with your neighbors and your family and enjoying the best things about being part of Minnesota and being part of our community. So hats off to everybody who's participating. I can't wait to participate. And then one quick hats off and a reminder that there are still probably about a dozen kids camps at Wood Lake Nature Center. So for grade schoolers, early grade schoolers, middle schoolers, there's survival skills, there's all kinds of getting out in nature, getting away from your video games, getting away from any kind of screen, and just being immersed in a beautiful part of Richfield and learning something useful. So check that out on the city website. You can link to the Wood Lake Nature Center guide and take advantage of that. The cost is nominal. It's a great opportunity for moms and dads and kids.
Thank you. Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a postscript to Councilmember Troutman. The 4th of July parade will be, the route will be 70th Avenue from Harriet to 12th Avenue. And that's FYI, because most people may think that it's still going to be 66th. So I also wanted to mention that on the 17th of this month, I went with the mayor to a meeting downtown, and it was a women winning celebration. It was a get-together from women across, the state that are in elective office or have run for elective office or are supporting women who are running for elective office. Now, this is a nonpartisan organization, so it reaches across both aisles. I was very proud of the mayor, because as we as the ceremony went on, they had a video, and Mayor Reagan Gonzalez was profiled in that video, and then she also was chosen to speak on behalf of mayors, and I think this is important because it really kind of promotes the city. And she was very, very good about talking about participation in our communities, in our in terms of running for office and getting to know the issues and working hard. So it was a very good civic lesson. So, and I wanted to say that she also met with Senator Tina Smith and also Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. So it was really a nice event.
Thank you, Councilmember Garcia. I really appreciate your support and the kind words. Thank you. I have a couple items. So just to let all Richfield residents and non-Richfield residents know, please stop into our liquor stores. We currently have a roundup program where you can round up to the closest dollar, and the proceeds of that roundup will go to helping us build an inclusive park at Augsburg Park, and ensuring that park is accessible to youth and families with disabilities. And a lot of times accessible parks are accessible for folks with mobility issues, but not necessarily other types of disabilities such as autism, vision, auditory needs. So this park will have all of that, and another great space to make sure that all of our families are included. So please do, if you visit our liquor stores, please do participate in the Roundup program. Last Friday, Councilmember Troutman and I were able to attend the torch run with our police department to raise funds for the Special Olympics, and that was a really fun event. Luckily, I did not keel over and pass out, but if I would have, that would have been a great group to do it with. They would have saved me, hopefully, immediately.
Mayor, if I may just
Yes.
have a brief additional shout out, and hats off to our police for only making that 1.5 miles, and for not making it a lap, because the mayor would have lapped me in the 1.5 miles. She left me in the dust.
Yeah. So that was a fun event. There was community members as well. There was a little cookout afterwards. But as always, thank you to our police officers for leading that. And again, just always thinking about different ways and taking leadership and contributing to our community. Next, I have, tonight is the last night that we can all sign up to participate in the Urban Wildland Half Marathon and 5K, which will be July 27th. So we still have till to the end of tonight to sign up, and you can go to urbanwildland.com to sign up for that race, and 100% of the proceeds go to Wood Lake Nature Center. So again, another way to connect with residents, with neighbors, and contribute to a great cause here in Richfield. And lastly, this week I was able to participate in being a panelist to kind of give comments and feedback on the Urban Land Institute's READY program, which is basically a program for women and community members of color to learn more about community development, architecture, city planning, to help diversify those fields. And the project this year was focused on the Richfield Hub area. So there was 3 teams out of the group of students who really, they all studied the hub. We had presentations by staff, by the developer, by myself. They really got to study in person the hub space, and then they proposed future proposals and developments of what that hub could be transformed into. So it was really inspiring and encouraging, and I was really glad to be a part of it, and I thank our city staff for also being a part of that. And I look forward to seeing how we can incorporate those visions and learnings from the folks in the program into the actual future of the hub. So that's all I have. The next item is a consent calendar. Oh, sorry. The approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The agenda has been approved. The next item is the consent calendar and goes to Assistant City Manager Demetrenko.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. So the consent calendar contains several separate items which are acted upon by the city council in one motion. And once the consent calendar has been approved, the individual items and recommended actions have also been approved, and no further council action on the items is necessary. And tonight we have one item on the consent calendar, and that's item A. Consider adoption of a resolution granting a subdivision waiver for property owned by Mount Calvary Church.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments on the consent calendar? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
The consent calendar has been approved. The next item goes to Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a public hearing, so we can consider approval of a new on-sale wine and 3.2% liquor license for Los Sanchez Taqueria, which is located at 2 West 66th Street. On April the 19th of this year, the city received an application for said on-sale wine and 3.2% liquor license for Los Sanchez. Los Sanchez Taqueria is under new ownership and will be operating under the new name and new ownership. All the required information that the police department look at, and Jennifer Anderson, who was one of the administrators, has been received. All licenses have been paid. All background checks have been investigated and are completed. And the results of that investigation is that the public safety director has reviewed the background and has said that there is nothing in the report that would cause public safety director to recommend denial of the requested license. Now, this is a public hearing. Does anyone want to speak? Please state your name and address, and then sign in after you've done that.
Sí, soy el propietario de Los Sánchez Taquería y les quiero dar las gracias a todos por permitirnos y pues darnos una oportunidad más con la licencia de alcohol, y haremos lo mejor que se pueda para llevar todo bajo control.
My name is, ¿qué es tu nombre?
Santiago Sánchez.
Santiago Sanchez. I'm the owner of Taqueria number 2 here in Richfield, and I want to give thanks to the city, and we're going to try and work together and do everything properly at this business.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias, thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
And can you sign your name, please, on the sheet and your address? Thank you.
Quiero preguntarle, tienen un postre, ahora son dueños del lugar, ¿verdad?
¿Perdón?
Ya son dueños del
Sí.
lugar. Ok, porque tienen un postre muy bueno. Y me gusta ir a tomar café y comer
Sí.
ahí el postre, porque...
Qué bueno que le gusta y
Sí, y también hacen unas comidas que no hacen en otros restaurantes.
muchas gracias.
So les deseamos buena suerte, y ojalá que todo va a pasar bien.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Gracias.
I just mentioned to the gentleman that one of the things that I hope, being that they're already there, is that they continue with their dessert, because there's nothing like going there and ordering coffee and having one heck of a good dessert that you can enjoy and take your time and enjoy it and have a couple of cups of coffee. So, is anyone else? Not seeing anyone else, I will move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing has been closed.
Then I make the motion to approve the issuance of a new on-sale wine in 3.2% malt liquor license for Los Sanchez Taqueria, doing business as Los Sanchez Taqueria, located at 2 West 66th Street.
Second.
Any other comments? Any council comments or questions? No. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion has been approved. Thank you very much. The next item is the city manager's report.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, I do not have a report for you this evening, other than to just wish you all a great, fun, and safe holiday week next week, and fun times here in Richfield.
Great.
Thank you.
Very much. And the last item goes to Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will move claims and payroll.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Claims and payroll has been moved. And with that, our 21-minute meeting has been adjourned. Thank you.
Good deal.